Welcome, you one beautiful viewer that is here to watch this random video. Um, Today's topic is going to be about the SMG4 arcs. In fact, all of them that there are so far. There's 4 of them, and they're all beautiful masterpieces. Some aren't as good as others. This is just my opinion. You can uh, feel free to disagree with anything that I state, and just a fair warning. I will be going into spoiler territory. So thank you to Mr. Meme Man, this user on imgflip.com, for being patient with me. Um, and I gotta say, Mr. Meme Man, you motivated me to make this video, to make this channel. So big thanks to him. I will leave his profile in the description. And I guess this is the point where I say something clever. So uh, grab your spaghetti body pillow and let's jump right into it. Whee! At number 4, we have the Bob Rapper arc. Here we have Bob, who is just a piece of trash, who starts a rapping career. Okay, well, I'm not going to talk like that anymore. So this arc, um, it was my least favorite because it it was about Bob, who who is one of my favorite characters, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't I couldn't stand all of this Bob. It didn't really go anywhere in my opinion. It had some nice drama, and I loved the very first episode, Mario and the Well. That was probably just my favorite episode out of the whole arc. It was funny, and I guess it did tie into the story, which there wasn't a lot of story in the Bob rapper arc. It was just Bob being a rapper, and then he stops being a rapper at the end. So this is why this is at number 4, because it, while it was great, it just wasn't my favorite. Number 3, Burger King foot lettuce. I'm pretty sure this meme is dead, but I'm just gonna leave it in anyway. Alright, so number 3 is the anime slash Splatfest arc. This arc had a lot to take in. First of all, Dusty was added into the cast, and Axel, the Axolotl, was also added into the cast. And then uh, near the end, Dusty dies because according to one meme, Kevin was drunk and Luke was too afraid to intervene. But you know what? That's all right with me. That did add some dramatic tension. And then at the very end, Maggie becomes a human. Uh, yeah, we're turning everybody into a human now. Maggie, Melanie. Next thing you know, we're gonna turn Tari into a human. Yeah, it's not gonna be good, guys. Uh, but this arc, I loved this arc. Um, and I loved it because I loved it for its length. It was pretty long, so it was very satisfying. But um, this would be at number 2, uh, if it weren't for the length of it. So I really like how much content and thought was put into this masterpiece, but it was just after a while I just kind of paused from watching it, and then I had to get caught up in everything. So I guess I love and hate it for its length, but the episodes were great. I loved seeing the new characters come in, and it was just a generally good arc because we get some characters, um, we get to see their time to shine, their shiny side, whatever. We get to see Boopkins and his love for anime suddenly go down the drain because of this ban. We get to see Chris and Swagmaster 696969's life and what they do, how they become jobless. Having them in here is kind of like guards and retards, but implemented into the standard SMG4 episode. Speaking of, guards and retards should be a thing again. Please revive it. And then the Splatfest thing. According to a Hobo Bros episode, I do not remember which one. But hopefully editing me will put it in. Apparently they wanted to do an anime themed arc and a Splatfest arc, but eventually they merged it into one, and I feel like it would have been better if they were two separate arcs, but I still love it. So you should take that number 3 and be happy with that. I don't know what to say, but anime arc goes to number 3's place. Number 2. At number 2, we have the Waluigi Arc. Now, this was the first ever arc that was made by SMG4, and this was very exciting because, this never happened before. And, you know, I love the arc. The episodes were great. They were all fun to watch, especially the T-Pose virus episode. But I, I don't I don't I don't sympathize for Waluigi. I don't feel for him because everyone wants Waluigi to be in Smash, but this is so hard to say. Why did I put this at number 2? I can't really answer that. I mean, I don't want to be rash, but his backstory's trash. Having a tantrum because it wasn't put in Smash. But real brief, I want to apologize for any awkward silences that might be in the video. If there aren't any, then that's good. I did a very good job of editing this out. But I kinda put this off for a long time, and I'm just now recording this without any type of script. So, yeah. Note to self, I am not going to do that ever again. But this Waluigi arc was a good arc. And everything kind of tied together at the end. And I love the Wario Bros. Wario is one of my favorite Nintendo characters. And if you ask me, Wario goes through a lot more than Waluigi. I mean, have you seen every single Wario dies meme? There are no Waluigi dies memes. It's just Waluigi not being put into Smash. Waluigi not being put into a video game. Because, let's face it, he doesn't have anything special. I mean, what would his moveset be if you were to put him in Smash? And saying Wah is not a special move. I just want to make that clear. This arc also was tied into a Wotfi, also known as a War of the Fat Italians. And this, for some reason, I did not see that coming. I did not see this coming. Even though there was a trailer and everything. It was kind of unexpected for me. Took me by surprise. And I guess I really loved the War of the Fat Italians episode, the Waluigi Apocalypse episode, and the T-Pose virus episode. Those were just the best episodes for me, and I loved those. And the Saw episode, that made me almost cry when Luigi plunged into the warm Kool-Aid. Because if you're watching this for the first time, you kind of get hooked in and you like feel all the emotions rushing through you. So number 2, I feel like, is the best spot for the Waluigi arc. Now let's move on to number 1. And at number 1, we have the anime arc. Yeah, you all saw it coming. You all saw it coming. I mean, obviously the anime arc is superior. No, you idiot. It's the YouTube arc. There's only one arc left. And this one, uh, man, I feel like I just really feel like this shouldn't be number 1, but I also do feel like it should be number 1. The story in the first few episodes, there wasn't much of a story. Because towards the end of the video, Luke and Kevin officially say this is going to be an arc, but the episodes didn't really feel much like an arc. It didn't really connect. But it did kind of introduce us to the YouTube remote, Susan Windows XP, Susan Wajigity do, whatever her name is. And like despite all this, okay. Alright, anyway, as I was saying, despite all this, this is by far my favorite arc because the comedy was at peak point in this arc. I just laughed at every little thing, not only because I was very sleep deprived and injected a large amount of caffeine into my body, um, but I just keep watching it over and over, and I find it funny every single time. And I want to make this clear to you that you don't have to laugh at something for it to be funny, okay? You don't have to laugh. Uh, but having SMG3 is like something I've always wanted. I always wanted more SMG3, and this arc just kind of answered my prayers. SMG3, um, SMG3 was the main villain of the arc, and once again, I wanted SMG3 to be the main villain of SMG4. I just feel like it would be great to have the 3 and the 4 just kind of fighting, having this big, climactic, action-packed scene where they're just going at it. Um, and the fact that this arc also ties into a Wotfi, that just made my entire life. The rap battle was beautiful. It was clearly well planned out and having just great lines, uh, the beautiful instrumental break and a fight scene at the same time. Good job there. Good job there. Um, and I just lost my train of thought. Well, that's great. I felt for SMG3. Um, you know, his backstory, his motivation to be the villain was very, very well, very good. He was always just the weakling. He was the weak one of the bunch. Um, and having him rise up with a bunch of like wannabe casts, the anti-cast, um, having that was just I don't know how I feel about that. I like having SMG3 be the anti of SMG4, but then he brings on this whole cast, and don't get me wrong, I love the cast, especially Rob. Um, Rob and Bob are the best, and nobody can change my mind from that. Uh, you know, SMG3 was um he was a great villain, and the episodes towards the beginning were funny, but they didn't really have much connection. I mean, yes, they did have connection, but um they just kind of had, introduction to the remote, introduction to this, uh, but then, later and it kind of comes back and you're like, oh yeah, this happened, so then now this is happening, I guess. Um, and I gotta say, the second to last episode, a totally normal SMG3 episode, that was like, that was my favorite episode out of the entire arc, besides the War of the Fat Italians, because it had multiple layers where everything starts out all glitchy, and everyone knows something's up. Uh, but then Mario realizes that all of his friends are gone, and that SMG3 is replacing them. Uh, and then it goes to SMG3, kind of mimicking everything that SMG4 does, like a normal episode. And then Mario is frozen in time, and Susan, Windows 10 version, sets Mario free from his prison of being frozen. And then this amazing action sequence of Mario chasing down SMG3, and SMG3 kind of throwing all these YouTube buttons at him, and Mario just kind of thinking on his feet. And the ending was just perfect. And it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and normally I don't like the cliffhangers, especially for Meta Runner. Can we please just have some form of conclusion, please? Want I want to sleep well at night. I don't want to stay awake wondering what's going to happen next. Just please no more cliffhangers. Except for that one. That one uh in a totally normal SMG3 episode. That was a good cliffhanger because it wasn't like a cliffhanger like, oh no, what are we gonna do now? It's like, oh yeah, let's get ready for this. Because everyone knows that the Wofi was gonna be happening next. And so this cliffhanger really, really left the hype. And I just all the emotions that went through this arc, every emotion that this arc had, they kind of went through me. I felt what the characters felt. I really got attached to the characters, and I also got attached to the anti-cast. So yeah, YouTube arc goes to number one, and yeah, that was four arcs. I talked about all four. Let's go. You one viewer, you precious little person that was patient enough to just listen to me rant about SMG4 arcs and have like some pictures going on in the background. You're keeping me going. You're keeping me going, and I thank you for that. So thanks for watching and thanks for being here. Um and you can click that nice big blue subscribe button whenever you want. Um and don't forget to leave a dislike if you enjoyed. Uh and no, obviously I'm joking. If you can subscribe, please do. You don't have to, but please, it'll help me a lot. And you can also like if you like the video. I'm not going to force you to do anything, but my time here is up, and so is yours.